Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, JoJo.
And I'm Zara.
Ooh. Yeah, now that you said that, I just got hot. I don't know what it is about opening every new episode that I just like get a rush. And I'm like nervous and hot and excited at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just never goes away. But that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So what's popping? Talk to me,
What's
baby. Talk to
good?
me
What's
nice.
good? How are you feeling?
I am feeling like I need some sleep.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what. Well, I mean, I've been working a lot, getting some overtime in and shit because I'm trying to get some of this money and pay off a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
So then I can get back to saving.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'm just sleepy a lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if that's like a mental exhaustion or like.
Well, I think it's because you work overnight, so your sleep schedule is all fucked up. And then like you it's like she's like a nurse. Like nurses work like 3 times a week or 4 times a week, and they work these crazy hours, and then they're off for 4 days. But during those days, they're tired.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, I don't know if any nurses are listening to this that can relate, but that's what it looks like and sounds like.
Yeah. Maybe, but I don't know because I feel like with me working overnight, it's never really been an issue. I think like for me, what my thing is sometimes is I always try to be on the go. So like if I'm working overnight and I happen to get a little, shut eye throughout the night. I don't want to waste my days. Like if I come home in the morning, I'm like, all right, I need to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours, knowing damn well I'm tired as hell and I need a full 8 hours just to catch up. I'll like wake up in like 4 or 5 hours and be like, I gotta do something with my day. Oh, and it's either hit or miss or whether or not it turned out to be a really good day. Because sometimes I make myself get up to do it and then I'm just like, I hate myself for doing that and I want to go back to sleep. So but I'm good. Other than that, I'm good. I'm great. I'm blessed. I'm living, 15 days into the new year. And I still haven't had an alcoholic beverage. By the time you see this is a pre-record. Hate to say it, but it'll probably be like
end of the month.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I'm going for a month of no alcohol.
Yeah.
You
could do it.
I know I could do it. I'm not a person that always drinks.
Like an alcoholic. Like you could
do it. No, but when it's like when you put yourself in a position to where you can't have something or like, you really want it.
Yeah.
Like we don't drink a lot unless like we go out. Well, like if it's like a social thing, we'll go out, we'll drink. But like sometimes at home we drink wine.
Yeah.
Like during dinner and shit. So I think like knowing that can't happen, it makes you want it more. And I'm actually super surprised because I have a whole box of High Noons in the fucking in the fridge that we brought back from Florida. Mind you, I bought those High Noons in Florida for New Year's. And they're still sitting in there untouched, which I'm surprised you don't drink them. But again, she won't. She's not the type of person who drinks in the house.
I just feel I'll drink wine, but I'm not gonna sit here and drink like a beer. Yeah, unless like we're pre-gaming, like we're pre-gaming or something, and I don't know.
Yeah, same. I can drink one and then I'll be over it. I gotta be like in a social mood to really throw back. But wine, I can get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we have like a half bottle of Josh, which I'm also surprised that you have not drunk it.
Yeah.
That's still sitting there. So I'm like, I'm surprised I'm not itching to drink it.
Well, the reason why I'm not touching it because I feel bad.
Oh, you care about me.
I'm trying to be like a good like I don't know.
My support system.
Yeah.
Aw. How motivating. Okay, I won't drink after this. Let me stop. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
I feel good. I feel like last year as in 2022, like the previous like episodes, I feel like during the holidays, like I was just really stressed and just like over shit, and like I feel like you could kind of feel the tension, and I don't know how the listeners probably thought about it, but now I feel it's not because it's the new year, but it's just like self-reflection and like being always thinking about my thoughts, and like whenever I have a negative thought, trying to turn it into a positive, just because of like manifestation and everything else. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, my manifestations for this year and things like that. And we talked about this briefly, but like I always felt a certain type of way with people who would manifest things, because I'm like, it's not enough to just manifest it. You got to put in the work. So let's talk about how you put in the work, you know? Um, so I just been feeling more positive and trying to have like a positive outlook on things. And even if it sounds delusional, like I just, like I told you that I had a certain manifestation for the podcast, and I was like, I don't give a fuck if it sounds delusional. We're gonna make it happen.
All right.
And just having that outlook, because it's like if we have a negative outlook, that's all we're gonna get. Negative stuff.
Get negative results.
Yeah. So just trying to turn like the negatives into positives, and just literally thinking happy thoughts. Like starting my day with like, I'm gonna have a good day today. Like, you know, even if little shit happens, I'm just like, well, we're gonna turn it around, because I feel like when I'm stressed, I get migraines, and then when I get migraines, I'm annoyed, irritable, just like
over the shit.
Don't want to do anything anymore. So yeah, that's me.
I'm so glad you're in that mind state. Oh, good job, babe. She want to be that. Say no, let me stop. Nah, but I do agree when you start thinking like a certain way. I mean, I don't know. I can't say that's for everybody. Everybody has their own way of thinking. But I think like once you find a way where you're like, okay, I'm not going to allow things to affect me. And this is what's going to help me to not be affected, or like you said, irritable and annoyed and shit. You know, it really goes a long way. It's the little things, you know. We got to take the little things and just be with it, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like we're always going to have days where it's like, oh, well, that wasn't my best day. But it's like sometimes you can't prevent things from happening. Like, example, like my car having to get fixed. I was so annoyed by that, because I'm like, I was just annoyed by having to continuously put money into this car.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Just chill.
At the end of the day, you got a car,
right?
You know, the little things that try to fuck you up. What's the bigger picture? You know,
right? I'm like,
I don't know. There's
just
always
relax.
There's always a win in something,
right?
I've learned that there's always a win in something throughout your day. You got up early, you got your workout in.
Yeah, and
like,
I
got up early, and I don't wake up early. She does. I got my workout in. She got up. She slept in. It's the weekend. She needed to sleep in. She still managed to get her workout in. Like, you know, when we accomplish the little things, I feel like it pushes us in the, you know, more positive and more like peaceful direction.
Yeah, that also relates to like the law of attraction, which is very similar to like manifestation. Just like speaking things into existence. Like, I'm gonna have a good day today no matter what. And then next thing you know, good things start happening to you. And yeah.
But be realistic about what a good day is to you, you know?
Right.
Don't be unrealistic. Like, oh, I'm gonna find $100 on the ground. Oh, you know, I'm gonna win the lottery today.
Yeah. And like also relates to like working out and things. So I was like, I'm gonna work out. Like it was what I thought about in the morning, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let anything get in the way of that. And I think that also has to do with like the selfish era / soft girl era. Like, I'm on nobody's time but my own.
Period.
I'm sorry, like, you know, because I feel like me and you we're like people pleasers. I think that I'm a people pleaser when it comes to like my family, and I think that you're a people pleaser when it comes to your friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes we try to juggle all these things, and it's literally not possible.
Right.
Like, how do we take care of ourselves first without seeming
so selfish?
Yeah,
or,
right.
Like,
but
disconnected.
it's necessary. Like, it's necessary.
Yeah. Anyway, without further ado, we're gonna get into our topic today. I hope you guys are all doing well. Again, welcome newcomers, and hello, friends.
Yeah.
So today I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, being accepted into your partner's family, you know, more so the parent aspect of it. But I guess also, you know, sibling wise and stuff. And I only like brought this up or thought this up as a topic because I really see some nutty buddy ass shit when it comes to like family dynamics, you know? You have family who don't give a fuck about each other and the ones who care too much about each other, you know? And not to say that anything is ever too much. But when you kind of like don't have the boundaries and like you kind of just intertwine into each other's lives and relationships, it's like, ooh, that's a little toxic. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. Do you feel like your family is toxic, or like not? I don't want to say. I guess so.
I think that at times it could be toxic. But I feel like my family has good intentions, but there's certain people who could be a little bit toxic. Like I have certain cousins that are like a little bit problematic.
I haven't met them yet.
You haven't met them. They're a great time and they don't listen to the podcast. But sometimes when we're having like these big family reunions and things like that, and there's like new people in there, for some reason, sometimes they get into arguments with like new people. And I'm like, you just met them. I mean, like, I'm on your side, but like, we don't gotta fight. We don't have to physically fight. Yeah. And sometimes, like, this is gonna sound crazy, but my family has physically fought in like family reunions, and I'm like, wow, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm getting upset, and then I'm talking to them crazy, and then it's just like drama at times, drama. But I think my family has gotten better, like with like their reactions and things like that. And I don't know if it's just the age since they're getting older. I feel like parents get to a certain age and they're
just like more calm.
Just like, yeah, they're just like, they don't care. Yeah, they don't got the energy to be arguing or fighting with people.
Do you feel like your parents like care too much when it comes to like your life and things that you do? And
oh yeah, for sure. Like I think they do that though because they care and they want to see me happy. They basically want me to have things that they don't have or things that they couldn't accomplish at my age. They want me to be surrounded around like good people. They want me to date like a good person. Like it's like they have these expectations just because they want the best for me. I don't think it's ever on some like toxic shit.
Right.
So I do listen to like what my parents have to say, and they're also the type of parents that they're very kind. Like, you know, my parents, they're just very
super generous.
Very like my mom used to be crazy. Now she's better. But all the patience in the world. Yeah. Like Jojo went on like a family vacation with us, and I told her, I was like, this is how they are. Like my dad be listening to podcasts on the drive. You're gonna be listening to some Dominican shit, so just bring your own headphones. But like even just like the interactions when it came to like getting food, even when we were rushing, they had all the patience and all the time. Like they're at this stage in their life where they're not bothered.
Yeah, very unbothered. Very unbothered.
Like they're not screaming, they're not yelling, they're not rushing you. Like they're just be chilling.
I've definitely said this before, and I tell her all the time. It's bad enough that like my communication, like the barrier that I have between me and her parents is the Spanish. But besides that, it's how low they talk. They literally whisper, and it kills me because when I was in the van, now I've been around them and I'd be like, yo, how you hear them? But like in the van, Dyra's sitting in the back and like her dad's driving up front and he's like whispering like sweet thoughts, and Dyra's like responding, and I'm like, what the fuck? He ain't say nothing. And it just gets me all the time because I'm like, how do y'all hear each other? Like I really don't get it.
Yeah. But I mean, they're not. I feel like my mom talks loud when she's on the phone with her friends and she's like talking to our family in DR.
That makes sense.
Like my mom could get real crazy sometimes. Yeah. But for the most part, they're a little soft spoken. But if somebody crosses them, they're getting crazy.
Yeah, they're not for the shit.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
But yeah, how did you feel when you met my parents?
I was mad nervous. I think I'm like anybody's nervous meeting somebody's parents, whether it's like a friend's parent, you know, partner's parent. Shit, if you didn't know your own parents, you'd be scared to meet them. But I was nervous. One, because of obviously the language barrier. I'm not really good. My Spanish isn't sufficient, you know. So I definitely was nervous about that because it's just like, how are you supposed to not even just make a good impression, but how are you supposed to make conversation and find a level of relation with someone if you can't conversate, you know? If there is no dialogue. So I definitely was worried about that. Obviously, I had you and your sister there. I think the main thing that made me a little bit more comfortable, and I'm already embarrassed about this. You know, I'm already embarrassed at the fact that I can't sit here and have this full blown, detailed conversation with your parents. But it's always something that bothered me, and I'm trying. You know, I be trying to learn, and I know some shit, but I'm not. I guess when I get around people who know the language better than I do, you know, I kind of just shy back. But what made me feel more comfortable, other than like having you and your sister there to like be that translator, was the fact that your little brother was there. So it was like, I'm not the only one who doesn't know how to speak Spanish here, you know? Like, it's not just me. But so I think that made me super nervous.
Yeah, because my little brother is 10 years old and he does not speak Spanish. Mind you, my parents speak Spanish and my little brother understands it, but he doesn't speak it. He only speaks English. He'll say a few words in Spanish, but him and my mom seem to communicate with no problem. And my stepdad does speak English.
He does.
And he does understand English, but like he mainly talks in Spanish.
Yeah. I noticed that when we went to Florida, like we would talk and he would speak in English and say things, and then but like you could tell like his preference is Spanish. But it was cool. I'm not at all uncomfortable with your family at this point. I mean, other than still the language barrier. But I told him, I was like, y'all gonna have to accept me as I am and just teach me. Like, teach me. Put me on. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. But I'm here, we kicking it, and I'm not going nowhere. So
I mean, I feel like everyone who was there spoke English for the most part.
Predominantly, yeah.
Like we would speak Spanish here and there, but it was like my sister and her boyfriend and my cousin, like they all speak English.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How did you feel when I was meeting your parents? Did you think it was gonna be weird? First of all, what is your parents' like idea? Have they ever sat here and told you like, I want you to be with this kind of person, or like find a person who's this way?
Not really.
Okay. I feel like, I mean, they don't talk about us about a lot of things growing up, so why?
Right. How did I feel? I mean, I was a little nervous. Because it's like they met only one person that I dated. And even then it wasn't like officially like, oh, that's my boyfriend. It was like, oh, that's her friend. But everybody knew that was not just my friend.
Right.
So it was just nerve-wracking for you to meet my family, because obviously you're a girl. And it was like, this is the first official relationship as an adult that you're meeting them. So I would have been nervous regardless of the sex of the person, but it was extra nerve-wracking because of that. And I'm like, oh, and she doesn't speak English. Like and she doesn't speak Spanish, so this is gonna be tragic. Luckily we went to a place where they were playing music, so it was
loud as hell.
There was no need to be chit-chatting.
Yeah, but then it was like weird because then like y'all don't talk like that anyway, and that's the crazy part. Is like they're not like talkative people.
I feel like here and there, it depends.
Yeah, obviously it depends upon conversation, but for a good majority of the time that I went out with you guys really don't talk much. Even when y'all go home, y'all just be on your phones, and I'm just like, all right, that's cool. Like I'll get out of that conversation for now.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that that's one thing that worried me too, was the fact that you've come out and it hasn't even been, I don't even think it was that long in between that I met them.
Right. It was probably like a month.
Yeah. So I was super nervous, like scared. And that's what made it all the more worse for me, was like, look, I can't even like, sweet talk them. Like,
yeah.
But they were super nice. They gave me a hug when I was there, when they first met me. And it was like, cool. I don't know. I never got any bad vibes from them. So I felt very welcome. And I think the more that I'm around them, I feel more welcome. Do you feel like my parents are very welcoming or was accepting towards you?
Yeah. I have no problem meeting parents. That's one thing about me. Like I never get nervous. I don't know what it is, but I could talk to anybody. So I feel like the first time I met your mom, it was easy because she's also very talkative. So we were just talking and talking and talking. She was telling me a bunch of stuff. And when I met your dad, it was kind of like the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was asking a lot of questions, and yeah.
He asks a
Mm-hmm.
lot of questions, but sometimes he can get a little quiet and awkward. My
Mm-hmm.
mom will not stop. She will not stop. Love her to death, though. She's actually she's funny. All right, so you meet parents a lot, or you have?
I've met a couple of parents. Nah, I
Of
don't
people
mean.
that you've dated.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have expected that. You did say that. I think you did say
People
that.
love introducing me to
Because
their
I'm about to say,
family.
you've mentioned like you've been introduced to their family, but not vice versa.
And they was mad about that.
So you were very particular on who met your family.
Oh yeah, very
For
particular.
what purpose though?
Very.
For the sole purpose of like it just wasn't.
Like this is the thing. Like I just me and my parents don't have this really close relationship when it comes to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't know everyone who I dated, and I like to keep it that way because it's like if you're meeting my parents, this is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had the luxury of doing that because I didn't live with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I live with my parents when I dated all these people, then I think that's a different story.
Yeah.
Because it's like I live under your roof. Obviously, you're gonna know where like who's picking me up, or like they're just gonna be nosy.
Mm-hmm.
But like since I didn't live there, it was like I'm dating around and you don't gotta know nobody.
You
And
was living.
yeah, I was like I dated a lot of people for pretty long, and I met their parents, but they never met mine.
So were you like the one that they always loved? Like the person that was like, oh, Tyra, we love her.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Have you ever been disrespected by a past partner's mom? Mom, dad, parents, whatever.
So I haven't, but I was dating this girl and she was white, and like we all went out, like me, her mom, and her mom just randomly brought up like Donald Trump.
Okay, not your favorite topic. Yep, not your favorite person in the
and
world.
I was like, I honestly just forgot the conversation because I just toned out. Like I was just like, I'm gonna ignore everything that she says because it wasn't like a fuck Donald Trump. It was kind of like a supportive thing, and I was just like,
not fucking with it.
Yeah. And then the girl I was talking to, she was not with that at all. So she like her. Then she started arguing with her mom. And I've been there a lot for some reason. Like there was just a lot of arguments, and I'm like, I'm gonna let you handle that because I'm not gonna get disrespectful. Like that's just not the type of person that I am. And I think it was just because it was kind of early in our relationship, so I didn't really feel like me and their parent had that bond where I could be like, yeah, fuck out of here. Like we're not doing that. So we just avoided the conversation, but I never had like a bad interaction. Where I could say one thing. I dated my first boyfriend. We dated for like 2 years, whatever. His mom was so overprotective with him.
What is it with these guys' moms?
He was Puerto Rican and Dominican. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, he was like 18. So I'm like, okay, well, we're young. Whatever. But like, she was like a little bit too much sometimes. And she would call me when he wouldn't pick up the phone.
Oh, wow. And
sometimes I would be working, busy. Like I was very active when I was going to school. I wasn't just chilling all the time. Like either I was in class or I was working. And me and him, obviously, like we were together because we went to the same college, but that doesn't mean that we were together all the time.
Yeah.
He had his job. He had his classes. He lived in his own dorm. So I was just like, honestly, I think I was just nice for too long because she would literally call me all the time. And then she'll call me from blocked numbers. And then I had to be like, lady, I do not know where he's at. I'm not with him 24/7.
His girlfriend, not his mother.
Right. I'm like, I don't have a tracker on him. I don't have his location. Like I literally, and I had to tell her, like I had to rip her. And then I had to rip him. Like, can you pick up your mom's phone call because I'm tired of her fucking calling me.
But like how many times, obviously you said she was doing it all the time. So like you would tell him and he'd be like, my bad, or just like, oh, all right, would you tell her type shit?
He was weird. He would be MIA doing God knows what.
Yeah, I would have ripped him too. Like,
yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Are you work? What are you doing?
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know what the beef is with you and your mom, but just give her a call back because I'm literally sick of her calling me. And tell her that I don't have a tracker on you.
So it was just ever to call, like to see where he was. It was never like, hey, how you doing? What's up?
He's not picking up my phone call. Like, but then I found out that she had like mental health issues. So then I felt a little bit bad, and then
asshole.
Yeah, but it was just like, come on now. Like, I feel like sometimes there's certain moms that are so overprotective over like their sons that it's kind of weird. Yeah. It's like, is that your son or is that your boyfriend? Because I'm confused. But yeah, that was my experience. Have you ever met someone's family and they didn't like you or they gave you a hard time?
I am the golden child. And I say that in a positive manner, meaning everybody loved me. Nah. I hadn't except one time, and it wasn't like on ever no disrespectful shit or like that this parent would come out her mouth, but oddly enough, I
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the person I was fucking with, his mom did not fuck with me. Or I don't know if it was just that she wasn't fucking with me. It's just, I think it was just one of those things that it was like, I didn't care to fuck with you type shit, you know?
And you said she was Dominican.
She was Dominican.
Some Dominican moms could really be ruthless.
I literally, and I'm not, I'm okay with eventually meeting your parents. I don't need to be, immediately in their sight or whatever. But because, again, it's harder to do when you live at home. And, my parents, my mom has run into a couple people that I have fucked with, but it was never on like an official meet. So homeboy was living at home, obviously, and I would pop up and I would come through and I would stay over. And then I would like pretty much, see his mom in passing, like when I'm leaving and shit. And I would say hi. Like at the end of the day, I'm in your house. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I'm not gonna be like,
you have to say hi.
Yeah, right. That's you're in someone else's home. Like you're gonna be polite enough to be like, hey, how you doing? Like, right. What you want to do with that is what you're gonna do with that. So, I would, say hi, and then I would leave. But like I never felt comfortable enough to like chill upstairs or nothing with everybody. And like eventually, like when you fucking with somebody long enough, you're around. And it was crazy because I never had the issue. Like his siblings would talk to me, kick it with me. Eventually, like I met his stepdad, and his stepdad was cool as fuck. His stepdad knew English. His mom was a little rough on the English. And I think that was another thing that made it really hard for me because I'm like, fuck, like in this situation where I can't communicate directly, or it's a little hard. But yeah, I would say hi. She would be on the phone all the time, chatting it up with somebody. She would just look at me and like disregard me, like. And I would think to myself, like, maybe this is just in my head, like I'm just thinking too much. But in reality, like prior experiences from that one, parents always used to like, hey Jojo, how you doing? How are you? Talking to me like mad interactive with me. I've had parents that loved me. So that was like a weird situation for me, and I was like, this is what shorties deal with when dating guys, because this is corny. And like I get it, but it's like I haven't been disrespectful. I haven't given you any reason to be like, standoffish. So. And I feel like when you're in a position to where you don't have a rapport with your partner's parents, it's a little like annoying because like if I didn't fuck with your parents but you fuck with mine and my parents is really cool with you, that's kind of like I'm jealous. Yeah. And that's kind of the situation with the person I was dating at the time. Like their rapport with my parents were good, like kicking it all day, chit chatting, like, and I'm like, that's kind of corny, like
you mean like he was cool with your family?
Yeah,
but you weren't cool with his?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was kind of cool, and eventually, like I said, I met his siblings, and they were cool as fuck, and his stepdad, but his mom, I just couldn't kick it, and it was bothering me too, because a part of her reminded me of my mom.
Really?
Yeah. So the one thing, I'm gonna just tell you this one story. Damn, I'm fucking up. Homeboy got his jaw busted.
Oh my!
I go to the hospital. I'm sitting with him in the hospital. Yeah, I hate to talk about this, not to put shit out there, but whatever. We go to the hospital. His mom comes, His mom disregards that I'm there. I'm not even there. She comes in, I say hi, nothing. Straight to him, talking to him. And I'm just like in the corner in the chair, and I'm like, okay, Picasso. And I forget, but like it was just mad weird. It was just a complete like I was not there, and I was like, yo, I don't even gotta be here for this shit. What you call me down here for? Like if you knew your mom was coming, I did not have to come down here because you knew it was gonna be like this. Like,
so he went to the hospital by himself.
Yeah.
And then you met him there.
Yeah.
So she didn't even thank you for like, oh, thank you for staying with
Nothing.
him.
Nothing.
While I got here.
Nothing. Nada. Nope. Nothing.
She was not fucking with you.
Not at
she did not
all.
like you.
Not at all.
Oh my god.
So I was like,
that was hurting your ego, huh?
Yeah, it was. I was low key salty, and I was like, yo, like I'm not asking to be BFFs. Just a sense of acknowledgement, you know. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't getting that. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I did. Mm-hmm. Eventually she talked to me, and like she realized like I'm not just some, you know, regular ass bougie whatever type of girl, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, first of all, I'm from around here. One, like my parents have been through struggles too. Like we know different. And I felt like something about that was just, I don't know. But whatever, that shit was weird for me, and I didn't fuck with it. And you know, when we did break the ice and we did talk, it was cool. And I respected it 110%. And then I stopped dating him. And that was it.
Yikes.
But that was the like one and only time. I had been very much liked after that. But I've seen other people, you know, in relationships that are just, their parents just, like you said, they just involved in their everyday lives and their personal, you know, business and like relationships. Some parents have like invalidated people's relationships, and it's just like,
oh
what?
yeah, I mean, especially for gay people.
Yeah,
they just always call your partner your friends. Like, oh, that's her friend.
Have you ever heard your parents call me a friend or something?
No, they like say it by your name, but they also don't acknowledge girlfriend. So whatever, it is what it is. I'm not pressuring them or anything, but I do think it's funny because they'll just say like your name. They'll call you by your name.
Mine do the same thing though. Well, where's Tyra? Where's well, where's such and such? Yeah, I don't think they're ever like, where's your boyfriend? Where's your girlfriend? And I think it's because like they never know when it's gonna change.
What do you mean?
Like well, obviously we're not gonna change, but like they never be like, oh, where's your boyfriend? Where's your girlfriend? Because they don't know if they're gonna be here next week, type shit. So that's fine, but you won't be meeting them,
right? Right, that's true. What would you say are the steps to like getting along with their family? Because I feel like for the LGBTQ community, I feel like we have to deal with this the most. Just because we are gay, and it's like
we already have like a target on our back,
right? Like it's like
if they already think you're not human,
right? And I feel like with Hispanic families, that's also a thing too. So yeah, what would you say?
I think it's just for like conversation, you know, engaging. You know, I don't want to say being eager, but, you know, showing that you're open to having the conversation with them, you know, simple questions, just to show that you're kind of involved and invested in who they are and you're wanting to get to know them. Yeah. I think that can go a long way. You never want to be a person who's like, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm like being nosy by asking too many questions, but they're going to ask you questions too. So it's like, be open to letting them get to know you and you invest in getting to know them.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like just asking them questions when it comes to like your partner, like, oh, how were they when they were a kid, or like let me see some baby pictures, or like I don't know, it could be anything, but like starting a conversation so they know that like you're interested in getting to know their family as well, because that's important to like get to know them and have a relationship, you know.
Yeah. I would think obviously helping them, you know, when you're around, especially like you come over, you have dinner or you're out, you're like, you know, can I help you? Or if you ever need help, you know, kind of lend that or offer that, you know, hand to help.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever need anything, call me. If you ever want us to do anything, like, we got it. You know, that can go a long way because they, you know, you like to think they have other people to run to, but sometimes the one they depend on is this child.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And a good example for that is like, have you ever been to like a family party where like they're hosting and like they have to be running around and like doing a bunch of things? I think offering, like you said, help, volunteering yourself, like breaking down things if it's like the end of the party and staying there late
Yeah.
and just helping, like being a helpful person, helping them wash dishes. And I know a lot of families are like, oh, don't do that, no, don't do that, but low key they like that.
Yeah.
Don't wash the dish, I got it. But low key they love that. Like,
Yeah.
you want me to wash the dishes,
It's one less
just stop it.
thing.
Yeah, it's like little things like that I think matter.
Yeah. What's another one?
um
I think sharing time, playing fair, so to say, and that's like not favoritizing, or is that a word? I don't know. Showing favoritism to one side more than the other side when you're in a relationship. You know, so pretty much an example, us seeing my family all the time, every day, or like every holiday, and then not sharing the same, you know, with her side of the family. Um, which is a little bit harder for us because we're not so close together. I think we would be equally, but believe it or not, I'm not gonna say that because I see my parents around, because my parents are close, so I do see my parents, just not on the daily.
Yeah.
Often enough, but not on the
Yeah.
daily.
I think you do a good balance.
I try. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a good balance. Sometimes I'm like, I need to see family more. And then I do it. And then I'm like, I miss my friends. I need to see my friends more. And then I'm like, okay, I need to just see me more. And then it's like, it can be hard. It can be tricky, but you know,
I think it's hard because you have a lot of friends, one, and two, your parents aren't together.
Yeah, that's so hard. That's so hard.
Yeah.
And then like one gets jealous of the other. Like, it's bad enough I gotta deal with two separate parents.
Yeah.
And then it's like, at least your parents are together, but like having to deal with, I have to see her family too, you know? So holidays are rough, but you gotta make it work.
Yeah, like she said, it's important to just take turns. Like, let's say this year, you know, we did Thanksgiving with my family, and next year we'll do Thanksgiving with your family. And finding something that works for like both of you. Then I would say like communication, it's obviously pretty big, like we said before, but I think it's important to just communicate with your partner when it comes to how you feel about the whole family thing. Like, if you're feeling like they're rejecting you, if you're feeling like they don't like you, you have to tell them that. Like, you have to tell your partner that. You have to tell them, like, listen, I feel this type of way, and this is why I feel that way. And they should try to fix that between like you and their parents. Like, they should try to form those boundaries where they have a conversation with their parents, like, listen, they feel uncomfortable because this and that, can you please make an effort to like at least acknowledge my partner, or like at least have a simple conversation with them. Like, you don't have to be so dismissive, like how you were saying with
I don't think that conversation ever happened, so.
But I also don't think you care that much.
Nah, eventually I was just like, I don't give a fuck. That's fine. I could walk right by you in your own home. It got to that point. But I also think keeping in mind, you know, obviously the difference in families. Not everyone has the same you know, traditions, beliefs, and all those things. So I think just keeping in mind that your family's not gonna be like my family, so I can't go in there thinking that I can just say whatever I want or immediately be comfortable in doing whatever I want, and not, you know, kind of like not expecting them to look at me like I'm crazy, you know. So I think definitely not, how do you say that, I don't know the word. I don't know. I guess just being more. I can't figure out the word.
I can't figure out the word for you.
That's because you never understand me. Well, I'm saying just be more polite, I guess, so to say. That's, you know, probably not the word that I'm looking for, but that's the one that's on my tongue.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't know if you have another one, but I definitely think that disconnecting yourself when you're in these family functions with your partner, you know, and there's people there that you really don't fuck with. You know, there's family members that you've had a hard time with or just don't necessarily connect with. Don't allow that to um like push you away from these family functions, these family gatherings, and like being involved. Because that makes it hard, not just for you but for your partner, and then it seems like real sketchy, like, oh, you don't ever want to be here, blah blah blah, for one person. Like, you know, I think we just have to do a better job disconnecting from the people that we don't have a connection with, and not letting it ruin our time with our close ones, our partner's close ones. Yeah. And that's it. That's all I got. I guess in examples of just being
the
better.
last thing I have is to have some manners. Like especially in a Hispanic household, like if you come in, you have to say hi to everybody.
Oh yeah. The kisses.
Yeah, like you gotta say like, or you could say hi to everyone at once, like a big hi, how are y'all doing, or whatever. Or and when you leave too, like I feel like that's just showing like a sign of respect, especially when you're coming into their house. I was always taught that if you are the person that's coming into the house, you're the one that's supposed to say hi. Yeah. They shouldn't have to get up from their chair and like start a conversation with you. Like you should be the one that, well, you came in, you say hi to everybody. Yeah. I remember I was dating this person and they took me to their family's house, of course, and there was like 10 of them there.
Ha, what a time.
And it was like a lot of Dominicans. So I was like, I'm gonna say hi to every single person here. No, I literally did.
No, you did?
There was so many people there. Yeah. No, but he told me, he was like, you have to like say hi to them.
Why would you even put me in that position?
I don't know if he had like a bad experience with like someone else he dated who didn't say hi, but he was like, just make sure you say hi to them. I was like, all right, whatever.
They be ready. Because you know what's funny is that when you leave, they chatting about you heavy. They talking hellish shit. So, you know, you fuck up. Just know they talking shit.
Right. Yep.
That's funny though, because I did walk into in a house where they were like having like a little party. And I was like, you knew this was happening and you decided to bring me to the crib the right way. And now I gotta say hi to all these people. I'm a little awkward. I try not to be, but I feel like sometimes I have a hard time saying hi and bye. Like I can say hi, hey, you know, sometimes hugs, kisses. But when it's time to say bye, especially when it's like an overwhelmingly amount of people, I'm just like, ooh. Yeah. Because then it's like you can't say hi to some people and then, or like bye to some people and not to other people. So I feel like when I'm in those positions, I just go bye.
Yeah, that's what you
I'm
gotta
leaving.
Do. Just bye.
But yeah, show your manners.
Yeah.
And control yourself. That's it. That's all I got for this topic. I hope you guys somewhat kind of sort of enjoyed it or got a little something from it. Again, it was just a topic that popped into my head that I felt like we should talk about because people have a lot of issues with relationships and families.
Yeah. And if you guys have some tips, please let us know. Write it in the comments.
Yeah. Y'all been real calladita and we need you to speak up. Like, what's going on? Where's the comments? Where's the emails? Like, let's go.
No, we still getting emails. Stop it.
All right, maybe
we still getting
Anyway, let's get into this family meeting.
And hopefully it's not as crazy as last week.
Aye.
What are your thoughts on girls who refuse to eat out their partners? I've heard some comments that there are people, some who are not necessarily pillow princess, who don't enjoy eating other people out. I know you get a lot of questions about how people don't like strapping or who want to strap a partner who's against it, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this when it comes to eating out. So basically, like, what do you think about pillow princess, sis?
I mean, it's not for everybody, but it works for some people.
Like, are pillow princesses really gay?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like you have some people who also don't like to be penetrated, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. People have their preference. You know, I
But
can't.
I feel like maybe I'm wrong. The person asking this question probably is dating someone who's like they're always the top and their partner's always the bottom. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, when do I like
When do I
when do
get the
I get to be
pleasure
a
of being
bottom?
pleased? Right.
Right? Like all about communication, of
Yeah.
course. But my thoughts on it, I do think it's a little bit odd.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to make people feel bad. But I do think that it's a little bit odd because it's like, like just try at least. Like, just try it out.
Yeah. But I feel like even if you don't, like you have to be willing to find other ways to please your partner.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're not a person who's gonna give head, then what are you offering? You know,
Mm-hmm.
what there's other ways, but it's like, if you're not trying to find those ways or
Yeah.
try those ways, it's just like, well, then what the fuck are we really here for? Then are you really gay? Like you just want to get pleased. And honestly, it's hard to tell because there are a lot of straight girls who be like, oh, I would never eat out some shorty, but I would let some shorty eat me out. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So, but I don't know. Y'all gotta stop fucking with these. And not all pillow princesses are like, oh, I don't eat. Like I won't eat nobody out. They just like to receive more than giving.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
You gotta come to a compromise.
yeah,
Like go to one of these sex stores and maybe test out like a toy or something
right.
on your partner. But like obviously, I don't know. Like
But I feel like you still gotta try one time. One time. You got listen, touch it one time.
yeah.
Try it one time. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, maybe she just don't want to do it because it's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. You don't just, touch it and it happens. You don't just and it
Yeah.
happens. Like it's some work.
Uh-huh.
And for some people, sometimes
Yeah.
you just rather have somebody to just fucking lay on their back and not do anything
Mm-hmm.
because you'll spend more time waiting for something to happen when they're actually doing it and nothing will happen. And have them do it the wrong way.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, it could be for many reasons. Maybe
Yeah.
this person doesn't feel confident in themselves.
Yeah.
Like maybe they feel like, like I don't even want to do it because I feel like I suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they really just don't like it. But that makes me wonder, like, if this was like a straight relationship, I hate to compare it. Like, let's say there was a couple dating for years, but like the girl never sucked their little pee
It
pee.
be like that.
These
It's happened.
men be like, get the fuck out of here if you're not doing that. Like these men are not with that shit. And I feel
Yeah.
like as women, we're just more like we care about our partners a little bit more, and like it's not always about sex. I
Mm.
feel like with men, they were like, yeah, peace out.
Yeah. So
But yeah, try new things.
yeah, see what you can get out of
I wouldn't
other.
say they're not gay. I would just say maybe they're just not there yet. That could be another thing.
If you've had the conversation and it's just that they refuse off the strength of they just don't want to do it at all and don't care to do it, then and it's not working for you, then you just have to let that go. But make sure you've exerted all avenues of conversation
Right.
and saying, is it that you're uncomfortable? Do you just not feel like, you can
Mm-hmm.
have that like sexual confidence
Mm-hmm.
and because sometimes it's hot and it's sexy when you're the one being the pillow princess, so to
Mm-hmm.
say. You're the one being pleased and allowing someone else to do the work. And then when it's someone who doesn't usually do the work or haven't been in a position to where they've have to give, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it can be unsexy real quick
Yeah.
because you're like, what do I do? How do I do it? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so just talk about it and, I guess tell them how you want it done. I don't know, but good luck with that.
Yeah. All right. You want to do the next question?
Hmm. Next one, 2-year. What? That's how it start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A 2-year relationship ended, and 2 months after we broke up, a girl messaged me saying that they're a thing and wanted to know if her and my ex. No. No. Read that. That's all fucked up. I can't. I'm gonna read this word for word and you take what you get. I don't like. I'm tired of this. You be setting me up.
I did not read these.
I'm gonna just read it. 2-year relationship ended, and 2 months after we broke up, a girl messaged me saying that our thing and wanted to know if her and my ex and I had been talking. Are we catching?
Okay, so she was in a 2-year relationship. It ended. 2 months later, after that relationship ended, a girl messaged her, asking if
I guess they were
her
still
and
together
her ex were a thing.
or been talking.
Yeah. Like, of course, because we were in a 2-year relationship. What the fuck are you talking about?
So I'll proceed. Now, this is no shade on the writer. We know, your fingers were excited. You was getting to it. I'm sorry. But, like, I just be sounding crazy. Proceeding. They had been talking. I was torn, and I even met up with the girl, and she had... This is fucking me up. I was torn, and I even met up with the girl, and she had how she knew her. You heard that? She had how she knew her. Worth. And at the end... No. And at the end, they ended up together. Never thought I would be here from my ex again. She messaged me the other day and we had conversations. I know at this point it's over, but do I let her girlfriend know I'm still in love with my ex? I'm confused. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I just was trying to do a math equation in my head when I have a phone right next to me. Like, I feel like I should be Google translating this so she can read it back to me.
All right, but the question was, all in all, what I got from it was that there's some fuckery going on. Don't get back with your ex. They're an ex for a reason. Just call it a day.
So what it sounds like, again, this is no shade on you. No shade on you, sis. Maybe we should pre-read and sort this out for you. But
I want our natural reaction.
I know, and you're getting it. And it's making me look dumb. The hell? It's like every time when I'm reading, I'm just...
Why do you get the fucked up one?
I don't know, bro. I'm already looking crazy under these screens. Now I can't speak Spanish. Anyway, so y'all broke up. Shorty got a girlfriend. Your ex-girlfriend now has a girlfriend. It sounds like the present girlfriend hit you up asking if you were still in contact with the ex-girlfriend. And then you guys met up, I guess, talked about the shenanigans. And now it's like she messaged me the other day and we had a conversation. I know at this point it's over, but do I let her girlfriend know? Okay. No, you don't need to let the girlfriend know that you're still in love with your ex-girlfriend. Because why are we still in love with our ex-girlfriend?
I mean, they're not going to get over it overnight, but it's like... Your girlfriend is just playing games, or your ex-girlfriend's playing games. This is just tragic.
If it's just a lot of flippy-floppy here and there, you just got to let it go because you don't want to be caught up in a situation with someone that's just constantly going back and forth. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I got from that passage. I don't know if that's what you were really saying, but, there's plenty of people out here, y'all. We just have to give the people the opportunity. Mm-hmm. You're going to find someone better. The people we dealt with is not the only people we're ever going to have to date or deal with or love in our lives. So, with that being said, no. Don't tell the girlfriend of the ex that you're still in love with the ex. It doesn't matter. Let them deal with that and have their happily ever, not so happily ever after relationship. But I think we should just stop ruining other people's opportunities. If they didn't cheat on you with this person, I'd be like, fuck it, blow it up. But, don't take away the opportunity of someone else for being a shitty person. I mean, she's going to find out if she don't already know.
Yeah.
But don't know. I think you going out of your way to make it known that you're still in love with them isn't doing nothing.
No.
Now, in the event that you guys are still talking and you want her to know,
Yeah.
go for it. But
I want to do another one because I don't want to lose the listeners because that one was a little confusing.
Rough.
So okay, I'll read the next one. Love watching. So I set certain standards for anyone I date because I've worked hard to establish myself. But I feel like those same standards that built me to where I am keep me away from dating women. Do you have any advice on this? Because I don't want to lower my standards because I tried it before, but I just felt like I was settling. Thank you. Thank y'all. Much love. Don't lower your standards. No. Because then when you lower your standards and you start dating these people, you're always going to find something wrong with them. And it's never going to move further. Like, I feel like if you're looking to date seriously, then you shouldn't lower your standards. If you're looking to date for fun, like you just trying to have a good time, then if they cute, they cute. Who gives a fuck about what they talking about? Like, it's just a physical thing. But if, like I said, if you are seriously interested in having a long-term relationship, then you shouldn't lower your standards because I feel like what is that doing for you? Like, yeah, you're not, like you said, you're not it's pushing people away from you, but like
those are just people who aren't meant to be around you.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyone who feels threatened or who just doesn't feel comfortable with the standards that you have set, they're just not, they just shouldn't be around. They're not meant to be around you. And I think that with having standards, it's like people are so used to like living in a life of no boundaries or knowing boundaries. And I feel like when you get to a point in life where you're like, you know, you start to realize, okay, I can place boundaries and these things can be followed. I can have standards and there will be people who will understand and fall in these standards, you know? Like, it's not, I mean, I don't know what impossible ones are. It depends on what you have, but
I could relate to this when it came to dating men. Like, I wrote a list of the things that the guy that I dated needed to have. And it was a little bit ridiculous. It was like,
so be more realistic, so to say.
It was like, no, because at the end of the day, it didn't work out because I obviously had more. I was more interested in women.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like not that my standards were lower for women, but it was just like not as crazy. Like with men, I was like, they gotta be like 6'2" at least. They gotta have their car. Yeah. They gotta live by themselves. They gotta have a good job, be educated. Like, I was like super particular with men.
And look at the difference.
So
that's different with women. Dated someone 5'2".
You are not 5'2".
No, I said you dated someone who was 5'2". I'm not 5'2". I'm actually 6'1".
Girl.
I'm lying. I'm 5'9".
I think the person you want will come in time.
Go ahead.
No, but I was gonna say with her list, if you do have a list, look at it and be like, am I being like too unrealistic when it comes to like physical stuff? Like, are you saying they have to be like 5'8"? They have to have curly hair, like things like that. You gotta watch out for that because like those little things are what would prevent you from finding someone. Or like if you're particular even about race, I know some people have their preference, in quotations, their preference. Like if you're just dating, I don't know, Latinas, and it's like, how about you expand your palette?
Oh, I like that. I like
she
that.
Could be Indian, she could be Asian, she could be black, she could be white. Like, you know, like it's like things like that. I would say look at your mental list again and see that sometimes we put these like certain physical attributes that someone needs to have, and sometimes they don't have that. And I've dated people who probably weren't the most physically attractive person to everybody, but to me, I feel like they were attractive in their own way. Personally, like their personality was also a plus.
Whatever works for you. A fear of settling is one of my big things, and I think that with that being said, that doesn't just pertain to settling with the person that you're dating. It also pertains to settling with the person you're presenting yourself to be while dating that person. Yeah. When you lower your standards, I feel like you also lower your self standards, you know? Like you become the person that's comfortable for them.
All right, guys, we had a lot of technical difficulties in this episode, so we're just gonna close it out.
Yo.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Deuce,
Bye.
deuce, mother goose.